Hey, I'm Vigil, and this is my stream. The date is 6/9/2022. The time is 20:42. It's a good day. I worked out. I ran 3 miles. I read maybe 30 pages of a Just War book, which is like theory on just war theory, or just war theory, which is like what modern liberal democracies use to decide whether or not they can go to war with somebody. It was a pretty sweet read so far. I wrote up blueprints for my hydroponics. I got it approved to put hydroponics in my room. I have this sense of dread, like always, but it's subliminating nicely into other things. I'm doing well. Not crazy in the least bit, despite what my Twitter feed would say. I do proclaim myself in perfect mental health. I'm not depressed, I'm not suicidal, I'm not homicidal. I had a fever, I guess, for like the past week, which was really fucking with my thinking, I guess. But it's gone now, and I'm healthy as can be. As healthy as someone who smokes a pack a day can be. But in all seriousness, things are going well. I've decided to start my own religion. It has no scripture. It has no It has no scripture, really. I call it apotheosis. It's sentient free will of all beings that is the apotheosis of the metahuman or the ideal man, which is liberty, reason, and love. And you train your mind, body, and spirit. Right now I'm on the spiritual discipline aspect of my new religion. So I'm training myself ethically, training my mind in logic and abstract thinking with war games. I'm training my body with endurance training, and I will be starting boxing in 6 months. I'm eating right, I'm eating well, I'm taking the medication that I'm legally required to take, which I was already on. It's just I'm prone to such abstract thinking that like I get a little far out there sometimes, and like when I get out there, it's good to have a neuro dampener that pulls me back in. What else is going on? I go back to work. I had 3 days off. I didn't do much with the 3 days off. I am ordering a futon to replace my bed so I can fit 2 racks of hydroponics into my room. I'm going to be growing the world's hottest pepper. I'm going to be growing a lot of them, and I'm going to package them and sell them or something. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not really a money thing. It's just I wanted to learn how to program, how to mess with microcontrollers. I think it'd be cool to learn some basic construction techniques, and I'm interested in plants. So I have a horticulture book, botany and whatnot. Everything's going well. I have enough money for my bills this month. I started my exercise back up. I'm eating right. I'm doing the medication. I'm doing the therapy. I have a meeting with my therapist soon for the first time in a couple of weeks. And I'm processing all this trauma fairly well. I'm subliminating it, actually. And like, I had an Eros compulsion, which was tied to the Thanatos instinct due to early exposure to sexuality when I was a child. And like, I don't know. I'm getting over it. Putting away childish things, which was like the phobia of sexuality because I was exposed to it so early. And God, that's hard to say out loud, especially being recorded. What do I want to talk about today? How about... Nah, I don't want to talk about that. Just had a thought run through my head. I'm a fan of the older women. Stacy's mom. That song could be about me. And I was going to make a quip about it, but I decided not to. What all is going on? There's an alien invasion that's taking over the planet. Game 1. There's a Chrononaut task force sent back in time to save them. Plot set. And you are a forward-moving Chrononaut within this game. You must actively decode the paradoxes in the language so you can get the technology, so you can accelerate your civilization's technological curve, creating the Dreamer's Loop. And in this Dreamer's Loop, you will find, I don't know, some way to repel the invading hive mind. It's like a mixture between Terminator, Ender's Game, and Revelations. The game's pretty sweet. Okay, who knows, man? That's the sort of shit I play on Twitter. Imaginary games. You have one choice. Fight, because if you don't, you will die. Stuff like that. No tone of voice and no context on my Twitter account makes me look crazy. And the body exposure therapy, which had to be done, I know it's so abhorrent, but like, it was the only way I could get over this phobia that started in early childhood with the developmental abuse from the community. And like, I don't know, man. What else is going on? A-list program, fucking awesome. I'm working out, I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm video journaling, stream journaling. I'm doing the therapy, I'm taking the medication, I'm doing the program. I'm going a little crazy on Twitter because I'm playing games, but once you get the context and you get like the very basic reality, you judge mental people who are in judge chairs in the future. Take it in context, and I'm perfectly healthy. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. And the CIA is flying a small dodo bird over one of those little, like, here, hold on, what kind of planes is it? What kind of plane is that? I jokingly call them the CIA's dodo birds. I don't know, man. The whole system's rigged at this point. Like the Robin Hood scandal, where they stopped the short. They stopped the shorting of the stock to prevent ultra rich people from losing ultra amounts of money. And like, come on, that's a rigged economy. That's Wall Street being rigged. And what else is rigged? The justice system and the political system, and our military keeps losing the war games against China. So that sucks, because we gave them our economy. Why, you might ask? Did this perpetuate itself over the course of 20 years? We thought we could change communist China into capitalist China. And then what happened is the Fortune 500 companies started shaking hands in back rooms with the communists who were using state capitalism and slave labor to undercut us. So we outsourced with Keynesian economics all our economy over to the fucking Chinese, who then built the largest military ever seen using our technology and advancing it. And then these Fortune 500 company CEOs and shareholders who were making trillions of dollars with this trade deal with China started to fund dark money super PACs to keep the political community who started World Trade Organization in power, like Biden, who is notorious for his hatred of black people and the assault rifle ban. And like that, and going into complete old age senilism, if that's a thing, He's senile and he's going into dementia. He has outbursts of rage. He has outbursts verbally. And the reason that is because he's going into dementia. He's an old dude. And, but anyway, so these Fortune 500 companies who are shaking hands with the communists with trillions of dollars passing between the two of them as they undercut your beloved communities with Walmart and, like, so your soldiers or whatever who are going to have to fight China in the next war if Taiwan gets jumped on. You bought the bullets that are being shot at them when you bought goods from Walmart. And anyways, so trillions of dollars went into shareholder funds because the wealth disparity problem accelerated with Reagan's trickle-down economics, which probably was aided by Robert Reich's and Bill Clinton's deregulation and removal of Glass-Steagall of the stock market, combined with the predatory loaning. It's created the housing debt crisis, the debt bubble or whatever. And then, like, which was never resolved. The banks are even worse off now because they're even more monolithic. So you have trillions of dollars and then a couple billion over the course of several years, because the amount of money that's in our political system is kind of small, like compared to how much money is in our nation. That's because it's a game theory formula. If both sides have to win by only 1% of the vote, then they strategically plan their funds to only win by 1%, which is why our nation's divided down the center everywhere. Like the PSYOPs programs, it is public relations, and the strategic influence campaign that uses psychometrics or targeted ads now with social media and shit, which can program you, they only need to win by 1%, so they only spend enough money to win by 1%, and if one side starts earning more funds, like through campaign lobbying or whatever, like, what are they called, fun parties, like that scene in The Batman, where he's talking about where the Joker shows up or whatever, like the funding parties, they can easily get more funds, but the other side hasn't got more funds, so they want to stay even with that side, and it's like a weapons buildup with financial goods and psychometric targeted ads. Anyways, I was segueing, like, so in the 1990s or whatever, the early 2000s, WTO lets in China. China uses state capitalism, slave labor, and artificially subsidized goods and suppressed currency value to undercut our economy. We give them all of our real infrastructure, manufacturing, blue-collar jobs and shit like that. The kids who actually become soldiers usually are the blue-collar families because they're poor. And, like, there's trillions of dollars being made from this trade. All of it's going into the hands of a small, wealthy elite who then use super PAC funds and dark money to influence campaigns to continue this abomination against our nation. And, like, so there's that. How do we make that into a game? How do you steal back the American economy? How do we five-finger discount WTO to get the American people back in the go? I don't know, man. I was segueing into something, but I totally lost my train of thought when I started talking about how the political party system works. Still have ADHD, still talking in tangents and non sequenters. But things are going well. Not crazy. Despite your campaign against me. So you be the judge, if you do actually look at all the evidence. Which is probably fake. Once you start talking about this shit, you become a target in our nation. People spit at you when you walk by. Just like that song, Down, Down, Down to Mephisto's Cafe by Streetlight Manifesto. You will not remember this. And my name is DJ. Just turn on the radio, you'll understand the name.